All right, Georgia with a 30-21 win over Missouri. And just real quick, make sure you're signing up for our newsletter. The link is right down below. Make sure you're taking advantage of that. Look, I thought that this game was very similar to what I thought it would be. Georgia really had a chance to knock this thing out going into the fourth quarter, had a third down and long. Missouri really is a good team. I mean, I would not be surprised if they are 9-3 or 10-2 at the end of the season. I guess they got Tennessee next week, maybe. But nonetheless, they were a formidable challenge for Georgia for sure. And I think that this is going to be the kind of game that Georgia's going to have to play as it closes the season. Yeah, Mizzou hosts Tennessee next weekend. That'll be a big showdown. The loser of that game, obviously, out of the SEC East. Georgia can win it by just beating the Rebels, which I suspect that they will do, having watched both teams on Saturday. This is a really good Georgia team, and you have to beat them for 60 full minutes. And I can tell you, if you saw tonight, then you know that's a really hard thing to do. It's a really hard thing to do, and I just this is going. That was a tough game for Georgia. They were probably in good position to win it most of the game. Um, but they really got tested. I think that the biggest thing that's sort of problematic to me is that Missouri ran for 151. They hit those edges. They stopped Georgia in the run game for the most part. And Mizzou had some really costly mistakes. So first of all, the reception or the kickoff return where the guy took it off at the 5 yard. I don't know what you're doing. So that was insane to me. Second, obviously, the Nazir Stackhouse interception, which was clearly the play of the game. And this team can explode on you so quickly. I mean, they're never out of games. I mean, they're constantly making plays. And I mean, did they play well today? I don't know that they played bad. I mean, I think sometimes just other teams are really good, and Missouri is not going to fall very far with this loss. I don't think. Carson 21 of 32. He was sacked 3 times. Missouri was bringing pressure consistently. They had Luther Burden, who Georgia slowed down. I mean, he was targeted. He only caught 3 balls. And he only went for 53 total, but one of them was a touchdown. That was a great play by him. And other people are going to have really good players. I mean, it's just what it is. But I thought that Brady Cook, the quarterback at Missouri, he netted out 39 yards. He played really well. He is a really difficult guy to deal with. Eli Drinkwitz has done a good job over there. It's not surprising that, well, in the ebb and flow of things, you've seen them really struggle with like Middle Tennessee and really play with LSU and Georgia. So, I mean, Alabama LSU is going on right now. It looks like Alabama's up 12-7. I don't think that's possible. But that LASIK I got in 2012 is maybe it's wearing off. But I look, Georgia's going to get Brock Bowers back soon. They're going to have Marius Mims out there. I don't know what the status of Jamon Dumas-Johnson is going to be. If he's going to be in a cast, Kirby said he did not think he could play tonight. Lassiter went back out there. Marcus Rosenzweig-Saint was fine. I couldn't tell at the end of the game if Deshaun Edwards got hurt. He got popped. Sometimes we can't see things. Sometimes we see things y'all don't see, and sometimes I can't see some things that y'all see because of television and so forth. But, the amazing part about this game, Georgia, if you got into the red zone, you were scoring. The teams were 8 for 8. So there were just no mistakes. And, Peyton Woodring is just getting it done. I mean, that kick, that's a 48-yard kick. That's very hard to do. And he just stroked it in there. That ended the game, obviously. But Georgia, I mean, listen, again, I just want to give credit to Missouri because I think they really played well. We've seen this season, a lot of teams have played Georgia well. South Carolina, Auburn, now Missouri. Whenever you go out and play a sport, I used to get so frustrated sometimes. But I was young, I was in college. And if you weren't hitting it exactly right, you can't be a slave to perfection. And one thing that Kirby said at the at the end of the press conference was, "I'm coaching to win, not to cover lines." I mean, I tell my daughter when she's shooting baskets, it doesn't matter if you miss that one, make the next one. That's all it is. That's all you can do is whatever just happened, you cannot control that. Now you have to control what's moving forward. And I think for Georgia moving forward now, this was a big test. This back to back of Florida and Mizzou. That's what's so difficult about this league. Now Florida lost today. It was a huge win for Clemson today. Ohio State is, excuse me, Oklahoma is a joke. So it was fun, but when you're getting run out of town in Stillwater, like that's bad, man. And Gundy's gonna just like that. I mean, and they earned it though. But for this team, you're probably, I mean, you likely will play the winner of LSU, Alabama. Okay, likely, not certainly. And that game will be a game where Georgia's favored. That will be a very difficult game. They'll be favored by, 5 to 9 points, something like that. And, they should win that game, but they might not. So all of these games that they're winning now, the accumulation of sort of big wins, like if you can go to the end of the season and you have 2 wins over 10-2 Ole Miss, 10-2 Missouri, 9-3 Tennessee, I mean, that's a lot of big wins. But let's just see how this plays out. I mean, Missouri still has Florida, they still have Tennessee, and they still have Arkansas. They should win all those games. Now the Tennessee game, I'm gonna be very curious to see what the line is on that guy. But hey, listen, I was impressed with Missouri today. I'm just gonna tell you like it is. I thought, I picked Georgia, I picked Missouri against the line, so Kirby, in case Kirby was keeping up at home. But the reason why is that, as well as Georgia played last week, this quarterback could do some things that Graham Mertz couldn't do, which is use his legs effectively. Next week against Ole Miss, will the Rebels have what they need up front to deal with Georgia? You, you know, Beating Georgia in a 30-minute game, I think a lot of people can do that. I mean, I do. Beating Georgia in a 60-minute game, you know, at this point, I've only got 3 regular season games left. You probably will play in the SEC championship. And then, maybe win or lose, but we'll just see what's coming. The Big 12 is meltdown city. I mean, you could have had Texas lose today, Oklahoma lose today. You could have had just some off the wall situation nationally. Let's just see what happens with UW. Oregon is out here killing people. That was a great win for Clemson. That was not a good day for Notre Dame. And like there were just some self-inflicted wins that cost them. It just killed them. So I think for me, who's the best team in the country? It's hard to think that when Ohio State is struggling with Rutgers on the road, no less, that they're better than Georgia. If we're being intellectually honest, and we're going to say, well, they have a great win. Yeah, one of their really good wins that they've got is a 5-3 team now. So, I don't know that Notre Dame has what they did a while ago. I mean, that'd be like Georgia really thumping their chest about beating Florida or Kentucky. I mean, all right. But I'm an eye test guy, and I think but it'll get settled out. But I think for me, this was a really memorable. No, this is a really big game. Was it memorable? I would say probably not. I mean, it was very similar to South Carolina in 17, or um, I thought it would be like that game. I thought it would be like that. Now Georgia dominated, kind of dominated that game a little bit more. Dominated is the wrong word. They won that game by 14. This one was a 9-point win, and that's about what this was. I mean, like Georgia was not 15 points better than Missouri tonight. I don't know what the line will be for Mississippi, but it'll probably be 12 or 13. It's going to be hard for Mississippi to win that game here. I'm just going to tell you like it is. I mean, it's going to be hard for them to win that game, and um, you know. But now you got to wonder, hey, is Jamon Dumas-Johnson out for a little bit of time? When does Brock Bowers come back? Because now you're on Brock Bowers' watch. Like, you're just checking out everything. Because it could be now at any point. Because you're definitely through the 3-week window. Um, but look, Cody Schrader played really well for Missouri. That stretch run was killing Georgia. Um, but it was just a really good football game. I mean, like, Georgia comes out 3-0, 7-3 for the Rebel for Mizzou, and then 10-7, 10-all, 13-10. Missouri, I got confused. I thought Georgia had the ball coming out of the half. I know people boo during these games because they don't like the decisions kind of sometimes. I think the way that Kirby did it at the end of the half was kind of basically what they should have done. Um, you know, you're looking at a 3rd and 4 with a minute to go, like at your own 30. I'd have to kind of look this up, but like I don't sometimes it's not really. I didn't mind that decision at all. But let's go to the drive chart just because it's such an important thing. This is only the second time this year that Georgia's not won a game by more than by 10 points or more. So that's saying something. But this offense, I don't think they had a 3 and out the whole day. They did have back to back 3 and outs apparently. Yes. Oh, and going into half. No wonder people were aggravated. But I mean, y'all, field goal, touchdown, punt, punt, punt. No, that's not great. And then touchdown, touchdown, field goal, field. I mean, like that's a lot of points. And you know, I want to show y'all that I'm just seeing this the first time. I've never seen this before on the. This is an unknown. They don't know how they obtained the ball. I think that was when, if I'm not mistaken, that was when Nazir got the ball. Is that what that was? Listen, man, I covered Nazir for a while, and um, he is a wonderful, gregarious, fun person to be around. Um, he played at Stevenson, so not so far from where I grew up. And I remember them going to go play Grayson at the time. Grayson was quite good, and Stevenson had had such great times in the past. And he was talking about how they were really looking forward to scrimmaging Grayson. And I said, man, y'all are going to get your ass whipped, and they got their ass whipped big time. But Nazir, that was the first time I saw Nazir play, and man, he flashed like he flashed. And this is this is a team that has a lot of Nazir stack houses on it. They have like no spectacular, no, like middle to high 4 star, yeah, a lot of them, and they got the fives sprinkled in there too. I mean, Carson Beck is not a 5 star. Lab McConkey is not a 5 star. Cedric Van Pran. There's a slew of guys that are really good players who are not 5 star players on this team. And you look at Lab McConkey again, 8 targets, 7 receptions, 95 yards, 34 yards after catch. Lab McConkey is just so good. Dominic Lovett had a really nice day. He was very fired up after that game, um, which I understand. And then, Oscar Delp. So I don't really do the official complaining stuff. I will say that I don't know how they missed the call on Oscar Delp's face mask. Like if I can see it with my lens, there's no way an official should miss that. It was so heads don't yank like that, and so they missed that. That was bizarre. I'm not sure I understood fully the reversal of the offensive call, offensive penalty, offensive pass interference on Dejon Edwards. I'm not sure why it was called. First of all, but yeah, so I don't know, but that the officiating didn't have anything to do with the game to me. But it's going to be, if you don't have Jamon Dumas Johnson these next couple of weeks, that could be tough. If you don't, but when do you get back, um, you know, arguably the best player in college football, and Brock Bowers? Does Brock Bowers change this game? I don't know. I mean, like, it really seemed like Missouri was ready to party the whole day. And Georgia there was a moment when they were up 10, and I think it was third and really pretty deep for Missouri. And it was 3rd and 10, and they completed 11-yard pass, and they were just off to the races to score a touchdown because that game is about to be over, and it wasn't though. But the resiliency of this team is something that should not be underscored. They are resilient. They are good. Um, they are going to be really difficult to beat for anyone. They're going to be very difficult to beat in Athens. It's just going to be tough to beat these guys. So, um, it's it's gonna be challenging without Jamon Dooms Johnson. And we don't know. I mean, we've seen obviously a game day has been announced for Ole Miss, which like people like me don't care about that. I think the crowd and the stadium and the city care about that. I think it's great for Georgia. I don't know. I don't know what time this game's going to be played. I can't imagine it won't be a 3:30 CBS game, but it's not been announced. I mean, ESPN's already said what they're going to do. So I'd like it if CBS could get on the ball a little bit and just confirm that it's a 3:30, or if not, it's going to be a night game. So, but I think this is a good game. I mean, like Georgia 6 of 13 on third downs. A lot of this game was again Missouri. They did get hurt with penalties. I mean, like it hurt them. They had 8 penalties for 50 yards. They weren't that. It wasn't the end of the world, but it just every time you go back up 5 yards against these guys, like it's like they salivate more, man. Like it's a whole thing with Georgia, and that's going to be a challenging thing for Ole Miss. It's going to be a very challenging thing for Ole Miss. All right, we're going to get. Please make sure you're checking out the newsletter. Our friends at Red Zone and EcoPoly, we can't do it without them. I should have mentioned both of them earlier, but man, it's going to be a big weekend in Athens. We'll see everybody here on Saturday.